Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League tournament race. We got an exciting match for you today between OK Game and FROMPS Time 2C versus Scarlet. This is the game two between these two teams for the week. My name is Willie J. Bradley, and I'm here with Homemade Beer. Welcome.
Hey, Willard, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I'm ready for an exciting match. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. Played a bit of ladder this morning and now ready to go watch this awesome match. Excited for these two runners, two of my favorite runners.
Favorite runners? It's quite a thing to say.
Yeah,
Big
the kind
fan.
that you watch, regularly.
Yeah. So between these two teams, they already had a very, very close match yesterday, maybe it was either yesterday or the day before. Came down to, I think it was a 3-second difference in favor of OK Game. Definitely one to want to go back and watch now that I've spoiled it for you. But yeah, here right now, Scarlet hoping to make a run, hoping to save their team from going winless after 2 weeks, while 2C trying to put their team in a better position later on in the division, trying to get them at 2-2, or I guess 3-1. Excuse me.
Yeah, both teams have gone up against very scary teams in this division, which is your division, in fact, right?
Yes, it's a stacked division. It's terrifying.
Getting to play against people like Andy and others.
Andy's the only person that plays Randomizer.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at here. Yeah, there's a lot of good teams in this division. It's really hard. If you look at them, it's really tough to figure out who's going to actually be the winner of the division.
And Yoshi and Schulzer as well.
Mm-hmm. We got a big key. I think that was a Tower of Hera big key right off the bat out of Link's house. Beer, can you explain to us, me especially, what is this mode? What are we doing today?
What is Fad Keys? Fad Keys is add keys. The AD is all dungeons, meaning you have to kill every boss, including Ganon in Castle Tower, the funnest boss in the game. Sometimes the hardest, depends. And then all the keys are switched up like a key sanity mode. And the F stands for Castle Tower keys are vanilla.
That's what F stands for. Yeah, Fad keys are faux, all dungeons. Fancy lettering. But yeah, after enough of playing all dungeons, people got sick of Castle Tower keys always being your go mode. So instead, the admin team just put them in their vanilla spot. And then you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Sometimes there's an added dynamic from that allows Lumberjack to be in Logic earlier sometimes, or force you to do Aghanim to get Dark World access more often. So sometimes you get to see things come into play that you don't usually see in
mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the time it's like Aga Tower is our final dungeon, or at least our last dungeon before beating a pendant dungeon after getting a required item for that pendant dungeon out of GT or something.
Yeah, that's when it's fun, is when you've played aggressively, skipped enough that you have a few overworld checks left, and all of a sudden GT opens. It's like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And then it's, do I check this one off, or do I go clear all of GT and then the one off actually has the thing I'm looking for?
Yeah, right. 7 items versus the one.
Now, the thing about this mode is that there's a very good chance that, both our runners are likely to nearly full clear the game, or nice hammer, potentially nice. Full clear the game. I feel like this mode also, because of the all dungeon nature of it, has a good chance of having big swings, especially towards the end. Especially when it's down to that last, small key that you're looking for, or last big key.
Yeah, it's interesting. It depends. A lot of time the seeds allow for enough divergence to see interesting plays from both sides. But sometimes the seeds are so linear. If you get behind a little bit early, it's really tough to come back without making skips and stuff.
Yeah, until it comes down to oh man, I need to go back to Ice Palace Big Chest or Thieves Town Big Chest, or back up to Hera Big Chest because I Hera potted.
Yeah, not today, I guess. But
Not today. So we did see, I think that was a bottle over at Uncle on Scarlet's side, so that'll make for one extra check here in Kakariko. That hammer in the back of blinds is personally very nice to see, because as someone that hates when hammer is super late, I just love it when it shows up early.
Yeah, hammer is one of those things that it doesn't lock a ton of things, but it just makes routing terrible if you don't find it early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like getting to the Dark World is a pain, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I got flippers and a fire source. Do I go to Pod or do I go to Ice Palace looking for that hammer?
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing we did see that's worth noting is that Scarlet, while in the Lost Woods, passed up on grabbing a map. Now, maps are useful for finding out what the dungeon prizes are, and I can only assume the reason Scarlet skipped it is mostly because this is all dungeons. We need to beat every dungeon anyway, and it's good to know what your pendant dungeons are. There's a big key on the library, so
nice
boots locked, potentially required big key. Yeah, it's good to know what your pendant dungeons are specifically, so you know what could potentially be in Ganon's tower. But for the most part, you're going to be beating all the dungeons anyway, so it's not super important.
So is that our GT big key with boots and GT basement?
Oh, dude, I have no stake in this race, so I want that to happen, absolutely. You can have this trash. What is it? Ice Palace Small. So we got one Pod Small, one Ice Small, one Hera Big. That's about it out of all this.
Did we? Oh no, we're about to see Sick Kid. I was waiting for that because that's basically going to be the difference in the Kakariko clears here.
Let's see what Scarlet gets.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh, wow. Okay, I mean, you have the hammer, which is already good as a good weapon, good enough weapon. But first sword right there is pretty nice. So that Uncle route at the beginning, paying off a wee bit.
Yeah, if that's the only sword and it forces you into Aga, that's really rough. But not looking likely. You found a hammer and a glove already.
Yeah, just on the lookout for a Moon Pearl now. Moon Pearl for a quick Dark World access. We still have a good chunk of South Shore left. We still also have the East Palace area, and there's two ways to kind of look at it. It's do I want to put off stuff as much as I can so I can avoid some double dips? Or, do I go straight for Eastern early just to knock out? Because, if Moon Pearl is in there, you'll probably need that early.
Yeah, it could give you a small advantage, too, if you think that your opponent might not want to dip Eastern early, too. Speaking of small advantage, do you like to scout the Two Brothers check, the race game check? Or do you just like to go for it in Key Sanity?
In Key Sanity, I will just blind check it, usually. Just because there's just far more likely of a chance of it being something useful or it being like a key than in a non-Key Sanity.
And it wastes a lot of time to check it and come back. But
Skullwood's big. Well, every time we find one of these potentially not required big keys, okay, that's a good big key. Holy cow!
Oh
holy big keys. 3 big keys in Mini Moldorn K. That's really nice.
That's it's more of a chance for that library big key to happen the way we'd be interested to see.
We already got one of the potentially not required big keys, the Skullwoods one. Now, if we find the Swamp big key, then that one over there in the library is going to 100% be required. Well, unless it's Ice Palace and we can skip it. Yeah, that's pretty much the 3 big keys. Actually, I guess there's 4 now, but there's Hera, Swamp, Skull, and Ice. Those are the 4 big keys you can beat the dungeon without getting those. But it kind of depends on what the game gives you.
Yeah, and you don't want to abandon locations sometimes, but it happens.
Well, we are nowhere near having Zora money, so...
Oh boy.
I was going to say, so we're probably going to save and quit, especially with no Moon Pearl to set up water walks, but that kind of changed my mind. Nice magic drop.
I heard there was a fun low money Zora seed this morning in SpeedGaming Live qualifiers.
Oh, really? Nice. I was very much asleep for that.
Yeah, that was early, but they had something like 200-ish rupees in the Light World, and then A lot of people just did Aga Tower with no fire to progress the game faster, but it turned out Zora was the answer. So fun times.
Huh. Neat. All right, what do we got here at the Hobo? Probably get these 3, maybe 4 checks, including Zora's Ledge. And then at that point, we still have what? Back of escape, front of escape, though only 1 check in the front is actually in logic in Hyrule Castle. And then we have Saha's Hut, Eastern, the couple checks in logic. We do also, of course, have that Agina's Cave all the way down in the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one to orphan early.
Mm-hmm. But hey, if we find like a fire source, then, you know, we could... And, well, we would need a book, too. Okay. Waterfall, give us a lamp and a book. We'll go to Desert.
Exactly. Yeah, having that sword in the crab area is much nicer than having just a hammer. The crab area is one of the more annoying parts of the game early.
They're quick. They're hard to predict their movement sometimes.
Ooh, boy.
Oh!
Well, then.
If you're 2C, you're wishing that one of those dang big keys in Mini Moldering Cave was the Eastern one.
Yeah, right? How many big keys? He has 4 now? 5? 4?
4, with eyes on a 5th. Okay, well. We have some... Well, we have one more option, logically. We can activate our flute and check the Spectacle Cave item and see what's on Spectacle Cave. That's about all that flute does for us until we find a mirror or a hookshot.
Yeah, it's nice this is going to end up actually working out, not doing Uncle early, because getting, like, you know, if he ever makes it back there, getting back to Chexic, it's pretty free with the flute.
Mm-hmm. Meyer Small.
Oh, well, okay. There's a bottle. Fine. Thanks, game.
That's the other thing that's risky about the early Uncle play is, you know, of course, Hyrule Castle Small is logically required for Boomerang Chest and Zelda Style. And, you know, depending on where your glove is... Well, I guess it's more of an issue in cross keys of, like, I want to save that key in case I need to sequence break to the back of Hyrule, but...
oh, yeah.
To do the Uncle route early... Yeah, to do the Uncle route early kind of means that you're probably not going to do the front of escape for a while, because now it's less of a good check because it's, you know, 2 less checks along the way.
Yeah, for sure. You want to, like, especially in a mode where you know you're basically full clearing the game, it's good to clump as many checks as possible.
Because like I said, I mean, we're going to be these runners unless things go... I mean, with all these big keys early, who knows? This could be a quick seed. But it generally comes down to who can full clear the game the fastest. So being able to group stuff together to route more efficiently is usually pretty beneficial until you skip one thing, and that ends up being the only thing that was required.
Yeah, which is the best way for it to play out, because that's the only way it always plays out.
Flute activated, sword acquired. Head into check Desert and Agina's Cave. So, the only real big difference here is that Scarlet checked the Uncle chest and, well, the 2 items at Secret Passageway. Now we have some decisions to make on where that Moon Pearl is.
Have we even found any, like, heart pieces? Or are we just going to be 3 hearts the entire seed?
Only 3 hearts, that's all you get.
We'll get more swords than hearts.
I'm sure we had to have found at least 1, maybe 2. All right, where are you off to now, 2C? It's just you know, head over to Eastern.
Is it faster to walk here than flute here?
I think it depends. If you want to go straight into Eastern, I'd say fluting, because you have the glove. But if you want to go to Saha's Hut first, which you would definitely want to in this situation, because you want to find the big key before going into Eastern if possible, then I think this is maybe slightly faster.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But I have not run the numbers, so I could
Hey,
be talking
divergence.
on my butt. You like to see it. Green Pendant Desert. All right.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay.
Aw. Almost so close to the Eastern Big Key. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen this many big keys this quickly. This is kind of nuts.
Yeah, not much left to find, right?
Yeah. We have, 3 chests in Logic and Eastern. We have 1 chest in Logic and Hyrule. So we're kind of running out of good spots for this progression to be. And at this point, it's probably going to be the Moon Pearl or, Hookshot Mirror to get up to East F Mountain Hera.
It could be interesting here if Scarlet finds Moon Pearl here in Spec Rock or something. I don't know if she'll go straight to Saha before doing a Dark World loop. And it's just a map, so.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once again, don't want that map. Gotta be all dungeons anyway. It could make a difference later if, you never find out where the other pendant dungeons are before you have to make some tough decisions, but I think I would have picked up the map in Lost Woods. I probably would have skipped that map in Spec Cave.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there that information can be really important in this mode. It's more important in other key modes, obviously, but in this one, since, like you said, if you have a sense of whether or not something might be in GT that's required, it's better to know that early, probably, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. And right now, all we know is that the Desert Small could be in GT, because I think that's logically required to beat Desert. But that's not saying much. Alright, well. I think I gotta feel like Eastern is probably the play. But it could just be a Moon Pearl in the first chest in Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
So.
Or a lamp and then a cape and Dark Cross.
Or we're farming rupees at the
Oh,
Desert
yeah.
Rock to get
That's
to
true.
Zora.
Maybe
with both gloves and flippers, Zora is super in Logic, right?
double in Logic.
Incredibly in Logic. The most in Logic thing right now, I'd say. Okay, just a compass. Only 2 more checks left in Eastern. Who's gonna find that Moon Pearl? And then that's the thing is, once you get Moon Pearl, where do you go first in this situation?
Yeah. You go do pod, obviously.
Straight to pod.
Straight to pod.
No fire source.
Just go to the back, kill the boss.
Yeah, just go straight to Helmet. Wow, 2 compasses in Eastern. And a shield.
Okay. The next chest is the only thing left?
It's either... Yeah, I think that has to be it at this point. Oh, I would love it if it was the mirror and then the Moon Pearls in Checkerboard Cave. I love when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
I'm gonna say it's the lamp. And then a cape is locked behind the lamp somewhere.
Oh my god. That'd be horrible.
And then the mirror's on Pyramid Ledge.
Alright, what is it actually?
Oh, okay.
Boots! Okay. Well, we can go fast. That opens up 2 checks and, oh my gosh, that big key now.
Oh, yeah.
Library. Which, I mean, what big key would be super helpful right now? So I don't think they would open up anything for us yet.
Kinda.
Well, yeah. That, I don't know about helpful. That'd be kind of frustrating. But
yeah. At least at that point, your opponent had to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
Careful. All right. Out of Logic, Zelda Cell is going to house a heart piece.
Oh, refill.
And a heart refill. And save and quit.
Ouch.
Dang. So that's going to be an isolated Dark Cross. We also have a lamp locked 300 smackers here in Eastern. Well, if you're 2C, you're okay. He's going to Eastern anyway. Like, you want this Moon Pearl to to be on to be locked by these boots, so that you're forced into getting these boots sooner.
Oh yeah, for sure. So now this
It's not these two spots. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking, this forces 2C to like hard. Oh, hookshot. Okay. To hard abandon Dark Cross basically. Well, I guess you have the back way in, so it's not as bad.
Yeah. And who knows? We could be sometime down the line having mirror and checking pyramid, then you can mirror and check Dark Cross or something.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, then it's not so bad, huh?
Nice hook shot out of King's Tomb. I would assume you go grab that big key out of Lumberjack, or out of Library before heading up. Because, well, you already have the heroin, so I guess it's not super important to get right now.
Did we see Lumberjack? I don't think we did.
I don't remember. Lumberjack was a Pizza Hut. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about Fad Keys. Missing out on the juicy info.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks to our tracker, Linkforce.
Yeah.
For tracking the real MVPs of restreams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Alright. I mean, Moon Pearl up here would be perfect, because then you can just do all of East Death Mountain and just get it out of the way and be done with it forever.
Oh, or a small key to desert.
There's that desert small. So now, get a fire source, and desert is completely beatable. Art piece, 10 arrows, $5, $20, $20.
So if you don't find a Moon Pearl on the mountain, do you Super Bunny? Probably not, right?
No, because then Hookshot Cave is like super isolated.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So at this point we have Hera, which we can get everything in there minus the basement, and then Spiral Cave. $20 on Floating Island as well. TC having a little bit of trouble getting through the dark rooms, but makes it through. Going to grab his $300.
So what do you think, Vanilla Moon Pearl?
Some sort of vanilla. Another big key.
Wow.
Holy cow. Swamp? Eastern? Well.
Ew.
TC having a little bit of trouble. Was trying to set up for the damage boost, but you can do it. Good pause buffers. All right, gets the 300. No deaths, but it's the first time I think I've ever seen that. There's the mirror.
Oh, wow.
My gosh. Moon Pearl coming up in Checkerboard Cave. This seed just keeps on giving, and I love it.
Just
you find that fire source, and we can do desert.
Yeah, one of those dream seeds with Moon Pearl gun mode. Not in ad keys, but
I've almost had that in a cross keys, and I was so disappointed when I found it.
Cross keys is more fun because you just don't ever get a Moon Pearl sometimes, or you can technically.
I think it ended up being required anyway, but I was like, man, I wanted the dream. Another big key. What the heck?
Oh wow.
This seed is too nice. I've never seen this many big keys. So we're just missing what? GT, Meyer, T-Rock, and Swamp? For big keys?
Yeah, we know where one of them is.
Oh yeah, so we're just gonna be missing 3. That's nuts. I have never seen so many big keys this early in a.
And all the ones we're missing will be in GT, right?
Yeah, Pendant Meyer and T-Rock or something.
Oh man, I hope so. Something interesting in the seed to happen late to make it pretty crazy.
Well, what? All things considered, Scarlet is currently in the lead. It's a slight lead. It's very early in the seed, so it's kind of a quote-unquote lead. Heading into the Dark World. Well, actually, no Moon Pearl, so I'm out of here. What am I thinking? You put Super Bunny in my mind, so I'm putting that on you.
Yeah, just wanting to see something silly, but
it could still be on Zora, but it's very likely going to be Desert or Checkerboard at this point.
oh, that's funny. Yeah, Zora's just been there the whole time. Like, why didn't you get this early? What the heck?
No money. 2C's close to having enough money. That's going to be an ether for Meyer.
Okay, what about Super Bunny Meyer shit?
Yeah, that because you never know when you're gonna get ether and come back to do Meyer, so I think that's a pretty safe sequence break. That doesn't take much time at all.
Yeah, it's fun breaking the game. That's why Cross Keys is such a fun mode.
I mean, I love sequence breaks. That's like my favorite part of playing this game, is because depending on sequence break, you can get so much information out of it and like make decisions based off of it, and it makes it super entertaining when like you get something that's like flipper locked and you're like, okay, well now I know where the flippers can't be, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of those things that you see, top runners do, and then like, they're actually thinking about no Moon Pearl still. About like the implications of that, but when you start playing the game and when you're new to it, you try to sequence break as much as you can, but you don't realize how much information you're actually getting.
Yeah. All right, Moon Pearl, yes, no, maybe.
Not
Not
yet.
yet, but Zora money. And half magic gold. Checkerboard. Is it actually happening? Oh, I'm gonna be so.
Oh, I forgot we still have Checkerboard. I was thinking like, oh, why don't you just farm for Zora money before doing Death Mountain? Then you get all the Dark Death Mountain checks. Not today, maybe.
Not
maybe.
Today, but maybe. Also, we'd like to welcome everybody from SpeedGaming. Welcome. We have fun game 2 between these two teams for week 2 of the league. There's our Moon Pearl in my favorite spot for it. I am so happy right now. Well, now we don't have to Super Bunny Meyer shed. But now it's like, man, or we're just not going to do Meyer shed.
Yeah, this is now in a situation where the entire game is open. There's very little that these runners can't get into at the moment, except for I don't know. You can get into every dungeon, you just can't really get a lot of items out of most of them.
Yeah, like we can beat Thieves Town, but you have to isolate the big chest. That's potentially what Scarlet's about to head over and do. I'm still curious why Scarlet skipped out of Meyer Shed. I'd be curious to see if 2C grabs that. Was that 2 single arrows out of chest key?
Very nice.
Yeah, loved it.
Both middle fingers of Rando in the same room.
So we have, you can go up and do Dark Death Mountain stuff. There's still that Meyer Shed that was left behind. We have, you can go down to Hype Cave and do stuff there. You can actually go, no, we don't have the Swamp Small, so we can't do anything
I know.
in Swamp yet.
I was thinking about that. There was a match a while back, I think P-Train and Ninban, I want to say, where the Thieves Town Small was in the first check of Swamp, and the Swamp Small was in Thieves Town Big Chest.
That's horrible. That's disgusting. I might have missed it. Did 2C do Spiral Cave before here then?
I think he just left it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think, or I don't remember honestly. Hey, a big key.
To Turtle Rock. All right, so
Imagine finding a big key.
we have one big key on the library still, and then 2 more out in the wild somewhere.
You know, at this rate, they're going to be able to full clear Pod Eastern in one shot.
Yeah, might need a few more pod smalls to feel comfortable about going for that, but yeah. I mean, you could go to pod with 2 keys. Check the first chest, do bow side, and then, you know, do the back section, and then go kill the boss or something, or, you know, hammer jump over, get all that stuff, and then just go through the bow side again. So you'd only be missing out on Harmless Hellway, Vanilla Big Key, and then that the skeleton, the Stalfos room. That'd be about it.
The pesky chest that's always in logic in pod, even when you try and sequence break pod.
I honestly, I would love to see a version of this game where that first pod door is just always open, and there's one less pod small in the pool.
That would make it way more interesting in terms of being able to route pod easier. Ooh, Scarlet getting bullied in the Hellway here, but makes it through.
Lovely half magic. At this point, we're also still kind of wondering what our other 2 pendant dungeons are.
Yeah, it's true. I have a feeling neither runner is gonna do map checks at all. They're just gonna look at the C or the P that's part of the latest update, and when they enter the dungeons, if they have a map, of course.
That's how I've been learning about whether certain dungeons are crystals or pendants, is just from seeing that letter up at the top left. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Is he getting his Moon Pearl? We'll see what he does next if he decides to go back and check Meyer's shed. See what Scarlet missed out on. Scarlet finding a T-Rock small. We will be needing at least 3 of them to complete the dungeon, while skipping Lava Chest, which is a very common skip to do in this mode, in any sort of key sanity mode. Well, no, mostly just key. Yeah, a non-cross keys mode. You'll usually check Lava Chest. Meyer small, pod small. Oh,
nice pod small.
Pod smalls. Meyer small, whatever. Pod small, very good.
Yeah, pod is what, like a 4-sphere dungeon or something, with just how many smalls it takes to break apart. It's kind of a silly logical dungeon. Sorry, the logical implications of it are kind of silly, because the game can very easily force you to do it over and over.
6 small keys being required to full clear that game, or that dungeon. And most of the time, players will go in there with like 3 or 4 and be like, all right, good enough, see you.
Yeah, I'm getting a pretty interesting divergence, and Scarlet finding Bombos and Blind Cell, which is in logic, so Ice Palace is now fully completable, I want to say, in logic for the most part. Unless the boss is red cane locked. Yeah.
I mean, we do have a big key and a small key, but like, it's hammer cold steer all the way.
Yeah, fun times. Yeah, so I think the main question about Ice Palace in logic is if the boss is or not. I think everything else in the dungeon is guaranteed in logic, but it's just whether or not Cold Stare is without the second Ice Palace small or Samaria, right?
Sure.
I think, yeah. Ooh, a fire rod, okay.
Okay. It's a game changer. That makes Ice Palace look a lot more pleasant. Now, if we just also find Samaria up here, then it'll look like a breeze.
Yeah, I feel like that would be an obvious next play from 2C if he does find Samaria in Hookshot Cave.
Oh, that Bombos from Blindset is what we need to get into T-Rock. So there is our medallion information. So we're going to still need to find Ethers somewhere for Meyer. And if Meyer ends up being a pendant, it could very well be in Ganon's Tower. Also, with that mirror in hand, I hope Scarlet remembers to mirror and get that library big key.
Oh, for sure.
Master Sword, a GT small. What else we got in Hookshot Cave? A red boomerang. A very small Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, Dark Death Mountain actually kind of paying off here. I think, a lot of in the situation, especially in this mode, you want to put this off as long as you can.
Mhm.
Hopefully you're doing TR at the same time, but it's pretty unlikely that that'll happen.
Yeah. And, with 2C intentionally skipping Spiral Cave, it makes the trip back up here feel even better because you can route that in.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Meyer Big Key. So we're only missing one required Big Key as far as we know, the GT Big Key. We have every other one that we actually need to beat the dungeon, which is nuts.
Yeah.
This early into a seed.
Hey, it's fewer ice rods to find, right?
It's fewer ice rods to find. And it looks like 2C's taking that fire rod and 3 pod smalls and heading right on back to pod. Probably gonna go ahead and clear pod eastern at this point, so get some new info here.
Actually, so I like this play because like a lot of times pod makes you dip it twice. It's really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really hard to avoid double dipping pod in this mode.
Yeah, the worst thing though is if pod decides to put a required item in the vanilla Big Key chest, because that's going to be if there's any chest that gets skipped the most in that dungeon, it's usually that one. But also knowing pod, it likes to put vanilla keys inside of it as well. So and getting a fourth pod small would be really nice. Scarlet finding a couple more small keys along this route, a Skull Woods from the Hammer Pegs and a Ganon's Tower small from the Smith.
Scarlet dipped Skull Woods, right? I kind of forgot now.
No.
No, she did.
Scarlet did straight up Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town. And now Smith down to Hype Cave, looks like.
Okay, so they have different Skull Woods keys, maybe? So Mouth is almost in logic.
2C got one, I think, out of Meyer Shed. I think that's where
okay.
No, that was a Meyer Small. I don't remember where 2C got his. Oh, it was Dark Death Mountain.
Okay, cool.
Another small key from K45. It's going to be the small key to Turtle Rock. All right. Well, we know where 2 of them are.
Well, yeah, another interesting point is that chat brings up is that you can now kill Landmos with that fire rod.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very beatable Lamos. So I noticed 2C went ahead and just opened up the front door, which means that I'm gonna miss out on checking like Harmless Hellway, because with 3 keys, depending on how you route it, you could at least open up one of the 2, but instead opting to open the front door for easier routing, saving time there, and just forcing a double dip later if necessary.
Yeah, it looks like not much on the Smith chain today. Red rupee on the purple chest. What was it? A GT small key? Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't.
I'm sure Scarlet's probably disappointed with this trip.
Yeah. Yeah, skipping out on the front chest of Swamp, which most runners I think would do, but it could be its own small key. Happens.
I'll never forget. This was like in a tournament back in 2018. My opponent skipped checking the dam like in its entirety in the light world until they were going to go ahead and dip Swamp looking for the Swamp Small, or like to check the front of Swamp Small. There's a Swamp Small in Hype Cave as well as a pod. And the Swamp Small ended up being in the first chest of Swamp, and the only reason that play was okay was because he had skipped the dam, and I of course lost tremendously because of that. But
that's always a fun one.
Yeah. So every now and then, if I get the opportunity, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can skip the dam until I'm going into Swamp and not get punished. But we are gonna go ahead and see all of Swamp Palace minus the big chest.
Yeah, how do we not have that big key? What the heck, game?
I know, right? Because the game wants to, be a jerk at least one more time later on when you're hunting the GT big key for go mode, and it's like, oh, just kidding, here's Swamp.
Oh yeah. Well, that'll only happen when they're in GT, right?
Right. Exactly. Every time.
Every time.
Every time. At some point we need to have like a version where all the keys are color coded, so you don't get bamboozled. Ooh.
Ooh, nice. So Yeah, I think I've heard that. I've never noticed it myself, but that if you find a key to its own dungeon in the dungeon, that it's actually orangish instead of yellow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been able to notice it because I usually don't pay enough attention. Oh yeah, we see that swamp is a crystal with the C in the top left corner.
It looked like Swamp is, or Hype Cave into Swamp is looking like a pretty good play. I'm assuming after, well, obviously Tootsie is going to go ahead and finish Eastern after this. Be curious to see if he heads to Hype Cave next, or if we see him going for like Ice Palace right away.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny because they both found 3 pod smalls, but they found different ones. There's like 100% chance that Scarlet does not get the 4th one that 2C has before doing pod here. So it feels like they're going to basically get the exact same items out of pod, with the only difference potentially being that Stalfos chest versus Harmless. I can see that. Maybe. I don't know.
Ooh, nice hammer. Scarlet gonna go ahead and check in the left side swamp right off the bat, which in this mode I 100% agree with.
Yeah, this makes sense for sure. Especially that Swamp Small was actually really early in the logic chain. It was available immediately with the Moon Pearl.
Well, I don't know. That Moon Pearl was pretty hard to find. But no, I know what you mean. Yeah, with how low our, only on Master Sword and Fighter Sword, those silvers are going to come in handy. For
sure.
Certain bosses. Phase 2 Argus will be nice without, having a Fire Rod or Ice Rod.
Oh, there's that Skullwoods. That thing is buried. So
that means Skullwoods is in logic, or Moth is in logic now that we know where all 3 smalls are.
Yeah, well, with the 3, I guess 2 other pod smalls in the lamp.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a couple small things, but
I take that
weird.
back.
Was that? I don't think that was anything in left side swamp.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Killing Argus phase 2 with just the hammer is actually really annoying.
Unfortunately, there's the whole put yourself in hook speed or spin speed, and then it affects your hammer hitbox so that you can hit the jewel a little bit easier compared to doing it without it.
Oh yeah, that's a great trick. Ooh, gamer strat.
Spicy. What are we gonna find here in Eastern Palace?
Okay. That does 2C think he's in go mode? What happened?
But I sure hope that doesn't cost him the game, because that's just... Huh.
Yeah, that'd be really unfortunate. Yeah, kind of nice both runners finding a decent amount of hearts finally in their various checks.
Remember when we had 3 hearts for a while? That was nice.
Yeah. I feel like it's funny. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just commenting on Scarlet. Was having a little bit of trouble with the bomb diver down, but finally gets on the 3rd try. And rewarded with $20.
Nice.
That Eastern big chest. The thing is, I commentated a race earlier this week where one player who thought they were super far behind but was actually super far ahead skipped the vanilla big key chest. And it happened
to try and speed up.
Yeah, and it happened to be a required item leading to a required item. Okay. He remembered.
That's nice, sort of. It sucks,
good.
But Ooh, Scarlet has the nice setup here for hookshot silver quick swap on this fight, which sucks,
Oh
but it's
yeah,
kind of fun to watch when
with no
runners pull it off.
boomerang.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hell of a lot more consistent than the double hook, or yeah, the double hook fighter sword spin.
Yeah.
But she seems to be doing well with it.
As long as you don't get forced to do it hammer only, that's kind of the worst. I mean, it's not impossible. It just feels slow, you know. Oh my god!
Oh, thank God. that would have been unfortunate to skip that item.
I bet it's hard to
Third
skip the
arrows
beat.
Yeah, I bet. Jeez. Okay. Well, that makes things interesting at this point. And now, obviously, the Ice Palace play is the best play with that Cane of Samaria in hand. So, going to be able to Icebreaker, full clear all this dungeon. Has Fire Rod, has half magic, has Master Sword, but who cares about that? Because we have Fire Rod and half magic. Yeah, we'll have to ask 2C about that. I'm sure he must have realized it like halfway towards the back. He's like, did I skip the big chest? Am I a dummy? Because it happens, like your mind is elsewhere for like a split second, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. Because a lot of times, you know, he was probably maybe for a second thinking he came, oh, nice tempered sword.
Nice sword.
Came into Eastern with the big key but no bow or something.
All right, hit the switch or don't hit the switch.
Don't.
Ooh, nice
I don't
punch
need
ball.
to.
Yeah, with a big and a small, you don't. Is that usually, or is it just with the big key? I don't know. Guess it's sort of preference, I think, these days.
Well, you're going to see our catfish and our Zora
okay.
checks coming up, so that's nice.
Interesting big
That
small key.
could be an interesting development later. Because 2C has not been, well, he hasn't even been to like Hype Cave or Village of Outcast yet. Because he went, what, straight up the mountain and then straight to Pod?
Yeah. Went straight to Pod after the mountain, after getting the Moon Pearl.
Nothing off a catfish. Let's see. Well, we already saw all the Zora stuff. We just haven't seen Zora himself until now. So this could be a nice find because, you know, when this is all you have left, it's pretty easy to isolate Zora.
Yeah, if, well, okay, actually, no, Scarlet has 613. Okay, so she'll have enough to open Pod after this, as long as she doesn't get hit with the monkey in tow.
What do we got? 3 bombs.
Thanks, Zora.
Not what you want to see.
Hey, nice Pod small.
All right, I think we've officially found all 6.
Yep. That was number 6. One on Pyramid, one in Mire Shed, and one up here on Death Mountain that Scarlet will find. So she'll have... Oh, no. Those are the only 2 that she doesn't have, actually.
Yeah. So she'll be going into Pod with
5.
5. So, you know, if something ends up being in Harmless Hellway or Vanilla Big Key, that could be a pretty big difference maker. Because at this point, 2C has really no reason to ever go back to Pod unless he's cleared mostly everything else looking for whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think after Ice here... Oh, we don't have Ether. I was going to say Mire is a nice place to check out, but no Ether. I guess Skullwood, Stevestown makes a lot of sense for 2C.
Where's that Mire Big Key again? Was that in Swamp?
That was on the library.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't... There was a Pod small and a sword? Was there anything else in Ice that felt useful?
I don't... And then the Thieves'
There's
Town
a
small.
shovel. Oh, the Thieves' Town. That's actually... I don't know. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, I can see him heading over to Village of Outcasts next. Could also go beat Desert. No new information.
That's true. Yeah, you know, with that fire rod, he would have made sense maybe to beat Desert before the pod EP dip, get the green pendant on the way. I don't know.
Scarlet getting her Master Sword, and I think this was a Skull, or no, that's a GT Small. And then Red Boomerang.
Yay.
This will get to see his Swamp Small out of Hype Cave, and then we'll probably change his direction and go right into Swamp Palace. Yeah, because with Mitts, you could go Hype Cave all the way up to Digging Game into Thieves Town and just do Smith Chain, like, on that route, which makes it really convenient.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny the way that the routing is going to end up here for 2C is he'll be able to go Swamp all the way up. And once he finishes Smith Chain, can just go turn in Purple Chest and leave a portal over at by the bird statue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it'll work out because he does have the shovel as well, if he wants to check that along the way up that route. So yeah, we've been getting quite a significant divergence between the two. Scarlet with like a pretty good opening lead, being the first one into Eastern, which had the required boots to get the required hook shot, to get to East Death Mountain, to get the flute, or mitts or something, or whatever. Mirror?
Yeah.
To get to the Moon Pearl at Checkerboard Cave. But since then, 2C's been making some good moves. Now, you know, there's only a one crystal, one dungeon difference between the two.
Oh wow, Scarlet is doing this Mire Dip, and this actually makes sense because now she can do the desert thing that we just talked about, and she'll get this extra pod small, so she'll have 5 pod smalls entering pod.
Nice. And we'll be able to see what's on Green Pendant. Heading in as well.
So now there's kind of, on either side, there's like a deciding factor between the two runners of, does Steve Town Big Chest have something, or do the 2 chests in pod that 2C Skipped have something?
Mm-hmm. The problem is, without having more dungeon info, we don't really know what we're still looking for. You know, obviously we still need stuff to beat the game, but we don't know what we're looking for that can be outside of Ganon's Tower. Because we still need the GT Big, and we still need Ether, and we need Ice Rod. Those are the 3 items we 100% need.
Yeah, I think also a TR small?
We need 1 more TR small, yeah.
And that's it, right?
Which 2C hasn't gotten either of them.
Oh yeah, weird.
I think they were both like Village of Outcast area.
Yeah, they'll be on his path, I guess, then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? We were talking about this a second ago, but I guess if we find the lamp, then that does put Moth in logic, because we found all 6 pod smalls.
Where the heck is that pesky lamp? I guess we do have access to some T-Rock at this moment.
I guess, yeah. It could be one of the Mimic Cave lamps. Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm. Mimic Cave, Crystal Roller, which is like the last place it can be. There's our Ice Rod.
Oh, well, that was free. Come on, game.
Off of the Land Molas. So, yeah, I mean, this is interesting because, you know, we've seen TR Smalls end up in T-Rock a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So that's something that Scarlet could consider. But I would assume this is going to be the Pod Eastern play. Skullwoods, maybe?
Oh, yeah, I guess Skullwoods and can... What is it? Graveyard Ledge, Catfish? It's the last 2 pieces of Dark World left for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's done a lot of Overworld in this seed.
Yeah, I guess that's the biggest difference, right, between the dungeon clears, that when 2C catches up, if he does just as much Overworld, by the time he's done with his loop, we'll have a better sense of how close they actually are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Scarlet did Catfish with Zora earlier. That is right. Thanks, chat.
Ooh. Hair is small. Gross. Yeah, I mean, at this point, when it comes to small keys, the only one you're really hoping to find is another TR small. I think that's the only one we need still.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So we need
Oh god,
Not bad.
that's
We
a great
certainly
thing
don't
to
need
find
that.
after doing Smith chain.
Ugh. Yeah, because now that Bombo's tablet is extremely isolated for Scarlet. So we know where Samaria is, we know where Ice Rod is. We still need to find Ether. Ether is the only item,
Oh
and
yeah,
of course Lamp, but Ether especially. We need our dungeon info so we can know what can be in Ganon's tower, aside from the GT big key.
yeah. Well, Scarlet didn't pick up maps, and we'll just never know. No one's gonna actually check the map anymore, which makes sense, honestly, from their perspective.
Yeah. I can't get mad at the runners for cutting seconds off their time. Wait, yes I can. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Mushroom. Oh god. Skullwoods was a. Don't go to Skullwoods. Too many fetch quests.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare dungeon, honestly. Especially when you do everything else and then come here, and like all of the fetch quests you find were on the way to things you've already done. It's like, because you know, I guess she doesn't have cane, she can't like fake powder or whatever. But
Yeah, that Cane of Samari is sitting in the Eastern Palace big chest.
oh, that was scary. Earlier.
That was terrifying. Really nice Argus fight. Tempered Sword making a huge difference in that fight. There's our lamp.
Oh, there's the lamp. Okay.
Okay, all right. We're getting pretty close to go mode, but yeah.
Oh, that's the logical access to Moth, right? You're supposed to get the lamp out of here to go back and to
go kill Helma to get the
Yeah.
last skull small. Yeah, sure, game. All right.
Okay, game.
Okay, game. So, yeah, with that, well, actually, coming up here, if Skullwoods is a crystal, that does mean that Meyer and Tiarok are going to be our other two pendants. If Skullwoods is a pendant, then there's still some questions.
Yeah, too bad these runners. Oh, yep.
Okay, there it is. There's our info. So Ether and GT, obviously.
Yeah, right. This is when you just start go moding to GT. Oh, hey, we found out at the same time. Thanks.
Thanks, 2C. Couple seconds too late. Did 2C ever check that shovel? I don't remember if he did.
No.
That would have been the chance to do it.
Yeah. Oh, pet check? Pet check? Okay.
Well, not getting that one. Well, I mean, you could, but no, you're not gonna, because you're gonna get the Tempered Sword out of Ice Palace. But I mean, in all Dungeon Seed, you could get that. But no one's gonna get that.
Yeah, I feel like these runners are too good at quick swap. We'll never know what the red crystals are. Oh! Speaking of which, Scarlet just menued. I did not see. I think she had at least one.
Okay.
Can we just make it up? Which one do you want it to be?
Hera.
Okay. Yep, we're calling it.
Hera and Skullwoods. Nailed it.
Boom, roasted. Did she have both?
What do you want? Well, I don't know. So, Mushroom in Skullwoods to get a map for Skullwoods. Perfect.
Makes sense, yeah.
This is going to be... I think this is another... What was this one? Oh, okay. There's another Skull Small. And, alright, well, as you were saying, we're not going to really know how close these two runners are until we're done with this whole route, because at this point, 2C is going to full clear Thieves Town and Skullwoods.
Yeah.
So, we're still... And, you know, we have Graveyard Ledge. I don't know if we've even seen what's on Bumper Ledge, just which makes sense since no one has the cape. But I mean, that Ether is probably... Well, actually, you know what's crazy? Is 2C can beat Skull and Thieves and go to GT.
Oh, yeah.
If you really wanted to.
Where was... Oh, Ice Rod was on Desert, though. Ooh. That's weird.
Yeah, that could be bad. Did we just see Green Pendant turn in, or did...
Yeah, that was the first time it was a Pizza Heart.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 2C with the portal by the bird. And so it's hard to say. I don't think that anything is going to bite these runners in terms of things that one will get, the other won't. The only thing that kind of can really is the Ether medallion being in Thieves Town Big Chest or in one of these pod checks, I think.
Yeah. And
But I like your call with the GT, Ether and GT. That's more fun.
I mean, at this point, we just need 3 things, and all 3 things can be in Ganon's tower. So if you're, as a runner, I mean, the thing is, 2C doesn't know that Skull and Thieves Town are his last crystals, because when he checked his map, all he had were the 2. Oh, no, he does, because he knows that Myre and Tiark are the pendants. Sorry, he does know that.
Oh, right. Yeah, he just doesn't know the reds, or specifically which reds, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's Quake, the
that's
wrong
so
medallion.
Useful.
Oh, so close.
It's useful if you like big yellow circular objects.
Well, I bet that like one big yellow circular object, but not that one. Yeah, this is intriguing because both runners are in dungeons where the other runner had skipped at least 1 or 2 checks. So, I mean, we could get a game-deciding check coming up here at any second.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're not even an hour in.
Nope. And, I mean, with all those big keys, this seed was going to be potentially very fast.
Yeah, and just thinking about, 2C finishes this in Skullwoods, and he enters GT at like the 105 mark. Well, I guess he does Desert first, probably.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
105 is a bit fast. I don't know. I can't do math.
It would be... I feel like he's probably going to want to put off Desert until he can do Myre. If I had to guess, just to try and route them in together, since it's a green pendant. Like, it made more sense for Scarlet to go for Desert when she did, because she hadn't been to Pod Eastern yet, or she hadn't been to Pod and hadn't been back to Eastern, so that was a good time to go grab that.
Yeah, that's true.
So... All right, moment of truth here. Harmless Hellway, game decider? No, just a map.
Of this dungeon. Thanks, game.
It's a crystal, by the way. You can tell because of the C at the top left of the corner. Alright, so that's good news for 2C for now.
Were those the only 2 he skipped, though? Quake and the map?
Yeah, I think that was the only things he skipped in Pod. Because he opened up the front door immediately.
Right. And
there was the other TR
3
small.
keys. Yeah, you just skip those 2. That makes sense.
Because he came in with 3 keys. He opened the front door, he opened the back door, and then he saved a key for Helma.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So he could not have checked those.
It's kind of funny with being in kind of GT mode, as it were, with these runners, and not having Ether, but having all 3 Myre smalls. Like, what the heck are you trying to hide from us, left side Myre?
What's in there?
Yeah.
Well, this could sway in Scarlet's favor if, if 2C, assuming 2C beats Skull, and heads up to GT, finds T-Rock small, finds Ether right away, but ends up full clear in the basement for, looking for an ice rod that's over on Lamola's, while Scarlet will bail out sooner.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to say. Do you just do Desert? Do you just finish Desert because you can? Before doing GT mode?
I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't, because I want to save it for, wait till I get Ether and then do them together.
Yeah.
And I would get burned by that absolutely if if Ether's in like T-Rock or something. We did see that the big chest in Thieves Town was 10 arrows, so neither runner is getting punished for coming into these dungeons without enough keys to full clear.
Which is kind of what we want to see in this race, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's still
personally, yeah.
it's still very close.
I don't really want. I've seen enough blowouts. I don't need to see anymore. I want to see a run come down to like execution. That's always the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, 2C grabbing is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th crystal. While Scarlet is about to get her 6th dungeon. So, I mean, we're
Yeah,
evened up.
that's the biggest difference, right? Is the desert plus ice versus Skullwoods plus desert, or whatever I meant to say. That didn't make any sense. What I just said, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. Oh, not even a good chance. There's a very great chance that 2C will be the first one into Ganon's tower, assuming he decides to skip out on some of the overall checks. It's awful when you like get your last crystal and you want to go to GT and it's like, but I just got this book.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, just realizing too, with chat pointing out that it was these two teams that had the two runners that were within 4 seconds. So maybe we can repeat history here tonight or this afternoon.
That would be nuts. Yeah, and at this point, there's it's still early in the league, but of course, you're trying to avoid getting relegated, and FROMPS time is on the verge of going winless after 2 weeks if Scarlet ends up dropping this game to 2C, and definitely trying to avoid that. While OK Game went 1-1 last week against Pug Trio, and are potentially on the verge of hopping up into 2nd place overall in the division with a win right here. Would be tied for 2nd.
Is that?
I think.
How are you guys doing in this division? You're in the same division, right?
Yeah, we went 2-0 last week against Team Hime, and we're down a game against Pug Trio this week. Very close match yesterday between Andy and DT that kind of came down to just a couple. Well, actually, you could say it came down to a skipped item in pod, if you want to.
Oh. Wow, okay. Yeah, I remember there was something to do with a hobo, or I don't know.
Yeah, it was 1 T-Rock small for go mode, and they ended up being in not very convenient spots. So, and that's just kind of the nature of this mode. Like, you could be blazing through the seed, but you skip one location that ends up having something useful, and all of a sudden you're full clearing the rest of the game looking for it. And,
yeah,
that's why like this mode has huge swings in it. Potentially.
It's a pretty fun mode, though. I did have a good time this week.
I've only ever played this mode once before my race against Solsky tomorrow. So
good luck.
Thanks.
Hey, look, 2C has his lamp. He never checked Pyramid, though, so he doesn't know that this boss is in logic. Poor 2C.
He could do Pyramid Fairy after this, because no matter what our red crystals are, he'll have them.
Oh yeah, what did we decide they were going to be?
Hera and Skullwoods?
Hera and Skullwoods, yep. Let's call them Hera and Skullwoods, I like it.
Scarlet heading off to Ice Palace. So yeah, right now, that Ice Rod off of Lamel is potentially going to be pretty significant in this race, depending on where the rest of the items end up.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one for 2C. Like you said, if you want to try and put things together in this mode, you want to do everything all at once in an entire area.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be curious to see what he decides to do, if he's going to skip out on Overworld to just rush GT. It's a dungeon you have to beat no matter what, but obviously full clearing GT feels bad. But you gotta assume at this point that GT is going to have at least one of your 3 go mode items.
Yeah, right. Like TR is a pendant. You have 2 smalls. You just need 1 more. So like you're not going to go into TR looking for TR smalls, even though it's actually probably a reasonable chance they're there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just doing checks in TR feels slow compared to GT. You can do like all of GT in the same amount of time it does to do TR. But
Yeah.
3 times as many checks or whatever it feels like.
It's honestly, like, this is a really rough situation to be in my opinion, for these runners. Not so much for Scarlet, because, you know, Scarlet would actually... I could see Scarlet maybe going for, like, checking the front of T-Rock or something, just in case there's a small key in there. But, you know, who knows? The seed could put Ether in Lava Chest. That's still a possibility as well. Like, we're
Oof.
not out of the park yet. Right now, the biggest difference is Scarlet just doing a little bit more overworld and...
Oh, you called it. 2C's going to abandon the Ice Rod forever.
Well, until he gets it, until he needs it. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. You know, I could see him, if he finds T-Rock small and Ether, you know, I could see him bail to go do Mire Desert before ever touching T-Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it comes down to, like you said, if he finds Ether, then this is very good for him, but, you know, could be behind that Ice Rod.
So yeah, at this point, we know where Ice Rod is. It's on Green Pennant Lamolas. Scarlet got that a while ago before heading to Pod Eastern. We're looking for Ether to get into Misery Mire, and we're looking for one more T-Rock small to make T-Rock technically beatable. Because you can steal a Poke Key and skip Lava Chest. But this is the GT play coming up for 2C.
Yeah, this is guaranteed full clear of the entire GT at this point.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which is where this might swing in Scarlet's favor.
Yep. Oh, and it looks like we found that Scarlet skipped Iced Tea.
It's a pretty common play late in a seed, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't remember what was there.
Oh, it was a small key. I think it was the last pod small, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Nice skip. Not gonna get burned today. Oh yeah, we found a book. Either. Nice. Hey, you remember when we found every single big key?
Mm-hmm.
But where the heck is this GT big key?
Well, you already know where it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is a nice GT entry at 1 hour and 10 minutes. Feels like we're playing open mode.
This is the nut for all dungeons, for fad keys. But I mean, that's what happens when you get so many big keys so early. I mean, we had 3 big keys in Mini Molten Cave.
Oh, that's a good point from chat. Yeah.
Did he really not get the library big key? He might have forgot about it. Because, I mean, obviously you would want to know if that's the GT big key before you come up here, so...
Yeah, absolutely. That I don't think he did.
He had to have gotten it. He would have grabbed it when he grabbed the Smith. It's like the best time to do it, right?
Yeah, no, I checked his tracker, and he
small.
Definitely doesn't have it.
Okay, well.
Ooh, that's kind of a big mistake.
That's a really big mistake in this. Well, we found our 3rd T-Rock small. So T-Rock is beatable once Scarlet gets it. Not for 2C because of that lack of Ice Rod, but yeah, and Scarlet right behind. You know, and the difference here is, you know, Scarlet did check more overworld, but at the same time, Scarlet is in a better position because of that Ice Rod get out of Lamolas.
Yeah, and apparently that Misery Mire big key. So, yeah, it feels like what we're going to see next... Okay, game. Besides the big key to this dungeon, as we expected, is that, you know, 2C going to finish up all this stuff, and I want to say he's going to do TR before climbing. What do you think?
I don't know, man. This is an awful situation to be in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do. Oh, see a boomerang.
Yeah. Boomerang. Accidental boomerang.
I love that one. That's fun. All right, we're just looking for Ether now. And if Ether is just on the way here in GT, then Scarlet is going to take an insurmountable lead at this point. Just because of that. Just because of that ice route, really.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, big key to
There's the
swamp.
last one.
Thanks, game.
So, at this point, like, if you're 2C, or if you're cheering for 2C, you know, where do you want that? Where does that Ether need to be to bail him out?
For 2C?
Yeah. Like, it's got to be somewhere really stupid.
Swamp Big Chest?
It's pretty stupid.
Probably like the only place that could actually be helpful for him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe? I don't know, because Scarlet can do TR after this, and maybe she go modes TR, so maybe Ether's in the front of TR? What's the worst check in TR in Fad Keys?
Well, Lava Chest is always the worst in any sort of key sanity, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So you never want to, you know, it's nothing worse than beating T-Rock with 3 keys and then finding the T-Rock small and there being something on Lava Chest. Which, you know, it happens. And
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. This is really tough. I can't really think of a good situation for 2C here.
Yeah. I mean, if Ether isn't in GT and they both full clear, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, I pretty much the best situation is if they both last hard located. Hard last located. I can't word.
Blue mail, $20, 3 bombs. We're going right side.
Was that our first upgrade, mail upgrade?
Oh, we're not going. Oh, we already did right side. Sorry, we're going upstairs. Yeah, that was our first blue mail. We haven't seen any of the other mail upgrades yet.
That's kind of funny. Well, almost
NFP. They have a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. This is going to be interesting. Now, does Scarlet go back and beat T-Rock before heading up the climb?
You have to, right? Oh, you know what? No one's gonna do power room here, huh?
Nah.
Yeah, yeah.
Put Ether there, please. Come on. It'll be fun.
Oh, Scarlet's doing tower room. Maybe she fills ahead with that ice rod.
Tower room before compass room is interesting.
Yeah. Just, I guess, the technically most efficient way to full clear GT.
I mean, I guess you gotta be feeling okay at an hour and 16 to be in GT.
Oh, that's right. She doesn't have that 4TR small.
Yeah, the third one was over in compass room, so.
Or, sorry, third one, right.
3 bombs.
Feels bad. Skipping Ice Tea and in Ice Palace and then doing Tide Room feels worst.
I think that's kind of the downside about how nice this seed was overall, is that you gotta feel like you gotta make some plays at this point because you gotta feel like your opponent's probably, you know, neck and neck with you or maybe ahead of you. I don't know, maybe she feels behind because of how late her swords were, and you know, that Argus fight was really bad with Fighter Sword.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. That, you know, basically the best way to say it is this was a jet seed. This was a jet add key seed, and jet seeds are scary as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because you make one mistake, whether it be skipping something and missing the jet, or an execution mistake, and you just feel behind forever.
Yeah. Now here would be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, now, I think what could be a huge difference maker for 2C, if 2C finds Ether up here, and then immediately goes and beats Meyer or Lamolas, and then gets to actually go mode T-Rock, that might be what sways this race back in his favor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he'd have to do Lamels before he does Mire, because a full clear Mire is pretty heckin' slow. 3 bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Heart container.
Do you do desert before Mire? I feel like you don't. I don't know.
Well,
Was that Sankart? I think that was Sankart.
that was Sankart. You do Mire before desert to save on time on extra mirrors, but you also don't want to full clear Mire. There's a Hyrule Castle small. Hey, that's in Logic
nice.
now.
Oh, we never saw Dark Cross or Shovel.
No, we didn't. Yeah, I was still surprised that 2C missed out on that shovel check.
Yeah, it made sense for him. It never really made sense for Scarlet, unless she literally just went to do that one check.
Alright, well, nothing upstairs, so I'd say, Ether in T-Rock, and this is Scarlet's race, hands down. Compass. 300.
Yeah, Ether anywhere not in T-Rock. I think it's 2C's race, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it really depends on what he does after this. I mean, he still has a good chunk of overworld left to do.
That's true.
Well, I say good chunk. I mean, he has, like, Bombo's Tablet.
Yeah, Bombo's Tablet, Pyramid Fairy, and Catfish, and Dark Cross.
Graveyard Ledge. Dark Cross, yeah.
Graveyard Ledge, ugh.
That's not that bad. You can check that on your way over to Catfish from Pyramid, hookshot across and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess he does have a route if it comes down to, like, what you need to do to full clear the overworld quickly with what he has left. He has a pretty reasonable route of clustered checks.
Have we seen Spike Cave? Did we see that yet? Scarlet did it.
Scarlet did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's nothing.
a heart or something. 10 arrows? I don't know. Hey,
Now, do you go ahead and beat Aga now?
I was just wondering that. Like, I actually don't see a problem with beating Aga now, honestly. Because then you just finish your pennant dungeons and save and quit.
Don't open. Okay. Didn't open the lava chest door.
Yeah. That's been a thing this week.
That's
More than once.
I always see the comment of accidentally opened up lava chest, had to find a new go mode. Graveyard Ledge coming up. I mean, yeah, if Ether's in here, that would send him over there. He would end up full clearing the Mire area, but he'd get to go mode all of T-Rock. So this race isn't over yet. We need to see that Ether, then we'll know.
Yeah, it's really crazy on races like this where it feels like, depending on the situation, a runner's ahead, but it all depends on what your go mode item is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could watch a race early on where you see... Did we see this before? Oh, GT, okay.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. But yeah, you could see a race where someone finds the hammer super late and think like, wow, they look so behind, there's so much left to do. And then you realize that, oh, they actually only need like one more thing and they're just going to find it on the way. And, finding like something like a hammer late might help. It's pretty rare, but it happens.
There's the fourth. Do you check it? Do you check it right now?
I guess.
I mean,
you have the mirror. Yeah, you have the mirror option. Yeah.
I mean, that's technically a T-Rock small and T-Rock, right? We count that as a T-Rock, a vanilla T-Rock small, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny.
You check it, but you feel bad doing it. Definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not too bad because you get to mirror back to the big chest and just carry on, but then you're like, man, what if my opponent didn't go to GT first and went into T-Rock and got to save a couple screen transitions.
Well, the big brain play is to accidentally open the door.
Yeah.
And check it
Find
before
your Ether and then get bailed out by Mimic Cave.
Exactly.
Red mail. Okay.
That's fine. Whatever. Thanks, game.
All right, where's 2C going after this Zora check? Pyramid Fairy, maybe?
Yeah. Oh man, the routing was kind of awkward the way he ended up at pyramid to
Mhm.
do up to here. Because now going back to the pyramid, like okay, shovel. I don't know.
Oh, small key to another GT small.
Okay, so the game wanted you to go all the way to Crystal Roller to get that small key to go back to Ganon's Tower to get your
Yeah.
fourth PR small. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's how you're supposed to actually play the game, like in logic, based on what it tells you to do.
Well, we're getting our Ice Rod for 2C now. Still no Ether. And if 2C gets this Ice Rod and goes to T-Rock, then that's that'd probably be GG, right?
Yeah,
So
I guess
he'd
he
still
has
end
to
up
full clear
full
TR,
clearing.
right?
Yeah. $20.
I wonder if he takes the green pendant and does Eastern and finishes off Pod now, though, because he has 5 keys, I think, 6 keys, 5 keys.
No, I can't imagine that. You want to go for new content.
Yeah.
Going back to a
that makes
dungeon
sense.
always feels bad because that's like a losing play. Like you're going back to Pod. Oh, there's Ether.
Oh, there
On
it is.
Laser Bridge. All right, well. Scarlet now in a pretty comfortable lead, I'd say.
Yeah, he has to get his Meyer big key still.
Yeah, he still hasn't gotten that.
God, he has to
Forgot
remember
about that. He
So
has to. He might not remember that.
Yeah, I think we're basically in how long does it take to climb GT versus how long does it take to full clear TR, unless 2C kind of like, because I could see like a choice that I think is a reasonable play to skip those slow checks in TR, because Laser Bridge always has something, right? And just kind of like go all out to Laser Bridge, check, Crystal Roller, Chain Chomps, whatever, and then if you don't find anything, go back in for the slow stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's reasonable play, or is that kind of crazy?
I've done it once in a race. Didn't pay out, but it's a tough thing to go for. I'm still wondering where. I mean, he has every other big key.
Yeah.
At this point, so unless he's completely forgot about that Meyer big key, and he's still just looking for Ether. But a GT climb does take time. I don't think it's going to take time equivalent to full clearing T-Rock. So
yeah, actually, that's a good point too. Because if he doesn't remember that Meyer big key, then he's going to full clear T-Rock either way. So this is tough. This is tough to say.
It would be interesting to see somebody go for that, like rush the back section of T-Rock and then go back in and check. But I'm gonna assume he's gonna route it the exact same way Scarlet did, even potentially going back and getting Lava Chest.
So just for fun, thinking about it, like the seed was dumb enough that if you last location GT here and you do in Scarlet situation, you do Turtle Rock first and get the third small key in Mimic Cave, get your Ether off Laser Bridge, and then go to GT and get your big key. You kind of could have skipped it.
You save a lot of time in GT.
Yeah.
Just go to Stalfos room. Easy peasy.
Yeah, just go to TR with 2 small keys. It's when it's a pendant, it's fine.
I mean, I couldn't imagine somebody actually going all the way to Mimic Cave with 2 small keys and hoping first T-Rock small. Maybe seeing the front and then bailing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially when it's a pendant and you're in GT mode, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, if I was one item away from... If I was just a TR small away from Go mode, I probably would have dipped into T-Rock and gone a bit, because, the concept of Go moding all of GT, and with the fact that, if you're one item away, one T-Rock small away from Go mode, that means there's still 2 TR smalls out in the wild somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels so good to skip all of GT. It really does.
And it looks like 2C is skipping that fire-locked right side of TR, so going to save a little bit of time there. Because that is a pretty slow play.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like when I've been in this situation, this is kind of how I do it. I skip the first 2, the compass and the firelock side, and then I just go do all the like easy checks on the way because I know that I'm going to kill the boss anyway.
Mhm.
And then I cry because I missed whatever I was looking for and have to come back in. So
Then your thing you're looking for was in the front. You could have just go moded
Yep.
the entire dungeon.
Pretty much.
Scarlet almost at the top of GT, and then we'll get to. I would assume Scarlet at this point would just probably mirror, do Agate Tower, and then go do Meyer, just so you can save and quit and get dropped back off on the pyramid.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, especially because if Meyer is the last dungeon, then you just save and quit, right?
I feel like when it's come down to seeds having a required item in GT, maybe this is just confirmation bias because the races I've seen and played, I've seen that be the case more often than anything else, where Meyer's a pendant and it's required. Well, I guess GT was only required because of the big key. Never mind. What am I talking about?
Yeah, in this race, the weird Toro Rock small key layout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, this game wanted you to do a lot of trash. It's nice when a seed wants you to, and you get to tell it no thanks and do it your own way anyway. But they wanted you to go get the lamp in Skullwood so that you can get your third TR or your third Skullwood small on on Helma.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted you to go get all the GT smalls wherever they were. Where was there was one silly one in TR somewhere.
I think there were. Well, we found 2 GT smalls pretty late. I think in T-Rock. Maybe one of them was in the front of T-Rock. It might have been another one.
Yeah, just to get the last TR small. Like a lot of fun stuff in this seed. But luckily the runners mostly got to skip out on all. I mean, were there any double dips? Desert? Eastern was required technically.
Yeah, because boots.
Desert wasn't technically required, but that's one that you're gonna do pretty much no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it, right? That's pretty nice seed.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you get so many big keys. There's the other GT small. So there were 2 in here, I think.
Oh man, this is fun.
So yeah, Scarlet in a pretty good position to take this race. Just has to beat Agate Tower and has to go mode Meyer and beat Vidi. 2C still has to remember to go back and get that Meyer big key as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the last big key that we haven't found at this point is the library big key, which is the Meyer big key. Yeah, this was a really cool race to watch. They had pretty major divergence once they hit the Dark World, and it was really unclear who was ahead and what was going to happen.
I'm still just glad that 2C went back into Eastern and got his Samaria.
Oh man,
that would have been really bad.
Yeah, you don't want the turning point of a race to happen 30 minutes in.
Mm-hmm. Nice bot commands.
Yeah, I tried. I was looking at it and I'm like, hey, this isn't working for some reason. I'm going to test it out. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're enjoying the race, having fun here watching this, give the runners a follow. Check them out. But their Twitches are not showing up with the bot commands, so unfortunate.
All right, moment of truth for 2C. Does he go back to the library? Does he remember? Because yeah, if he knew about it, unless he just Plum forgot, and then remembered later. Like you'd want that before you go to GT, just so you know that it's not your GT big key. All right, he still has to go in and check the 2 on the right.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he must not know then, right? There's no way.
Yeah, he must have forgot about him.
Yeah,
Right,
because
if you
I guess
knew
the play.
if you knew it was there, he wouldn't go back in for these 2 checks.
Yeah, and reasonably in his situation, the play is to go into Meyer now and look for the big key. You know, because if he had obviously has forgotten the library here, if otherwise he wouldn't be checking these.
Like so far, not a very friendly Aga one. Saw a couple blue balls already.
As long as it's not, you know, 15. Ooh, that's not
Staying
good.
a little too close there.
It's always like you miss one, and then you get 3 blue balls in the next cycle because of it.
All right, that's Aga one down. And Scarlet just has to go to Meyer.
Yeah, 2C's going into Meyer.
Yep.
So that's not good. Hey, look, Meyer's a pendant.
Wow.
It says so on the top left.
That's a rough thing to forget.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with how early boots were.
Yeah, sometimes you get so excited when the seed like blows open that you're like, well, what do I do first? And the answer is never the thing that you've already done, right?
Well, that's like the third thing that 2C forgot this seed. Like, he forgot to get the Eastern Big Chest initially. He forgot to check Shovel when he was doing Stumpy.
Oh, that's true.
And then he forgot to grab Library when he was doing Smith Chain on his way up to Thieves Town. Like, those were the time to do those, and he didn't do them. Now, I could see skipping Shovel intentionally just to save some time and save a mirror, but when you're still 3 items from Go mode, that's arguably a strange play to do.
Yeah, it's a tough choice for sure. Yeah, Scarlet heading in, going straight to the boss.
Maybe we'll find Powder while we're in here.
It'd be nice.
What
key could... Oh.
Ice Palace.
Ice Palace. Oh, so Vidya was cane locked, logically. Or Cold Stare, rather. That's good to know. Thanks, game.
Thanks, game. Okay, well, this is good for FROMPS time. They are going to get their first win of the season, avoiding that 0-4 to start the first 2 weeks. Like I was saying earlier, top 4 of the division move on into the playoffs. There's 8 teams per division. Bottom 4 don't move on to playoffs. They're done. But the team that places last in the division gets relegated, gets booted out of the Invitational, where they can then sign up for the Open in the next season. So every team is trying to avoid getting relegated.
Yeah, then has to fight their way back.
Yeah, and when you have such a super stacked division like this. Now, the other interesting thing is, FROMPS time and... Hold on, let me check my reason. I know FROMPS time was one of the final 4 from the Open League last season and actually earned their spot in the Invitational because of their performance last season.
Oh, I think OK Game as well.
Yeah, they also were top 4. So both the teams were actually coming from the Open League last season. So trying to avoid getting sent right back.
Oh, look, Scarlet was about to flute and realized save and quit.
Save and quit much faster. Well, Tempered Sword Silvers, so we should be done under an hour and 40 minutes, barring some Ganon-related catastrophe. Right?
Yeah.
It'll be close.
Found our powder on Meyer cutscene. Good time.
Gross. That sucks. Checking
Yep.
powder. He might remember while he's in the area, but
Yep, just has to hop over one screen and go in the library. It's because there were too many big keys earlier. How are you supposed to keep track of
too
that?
many. Yeah, sometimes it's good, especially in a mode like this where you're like potentially forced into some double dips. It's good to write stuff down. Like, Hera basement is still a thing. There was a
Yeah.
thing at library. I remember back in the day when hints were still a thing. You could
Oh
write them
yeah.
down. Unique item in Mimic Cave. Unique item at chess games. Single arrow.
There's still a thing in PogChamp sometimes.
Sometimes. And sometimes ladder. I think ladder sometimes has hints. A little late
Oh
on
yeah.
that third silver, but that's going to do it. Scarlet is going to take this game 2 for week 2 between FROMPS and OK Game, giving their team their first win of the season and hopefully saving them from potential relegation. So GG's in chat for Scarlet. And I'm going to guess an immediate forfeit from 2C before he has a chance to check Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, it looks like a forfeit here. Scarlet with a official race time.gg time of 1:39.13 and the forfeit from 2C.
Yeah, even if he had remembered to get that one sooner, probably would not have been enough. We do welcome both our runners to the commentary booth. GG's on quite a race. Wow.
GG Scarlet and whoops.
Whoops. A little bit. We were wondering. You had a couple oopsies this race. We were very scared about that Eastern big chest that you passed up, but thankfully you went back and got that one.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I realized that when I was about to enter the boss, I was like, oh, whoops, I didn't check that. And when I went back and I saw Somaria, that was, I felt relief, let's just say.
Yeah, the seed was kind of nuts with how many big keys showed up early. It's unfortunate that you misremembered the library one too. See,
Yeah, it happens.
That's
yeah, it happens.
But yeah, GG's. Congrats on the win, Scarlet. Getting a win for your team. Gotta feel pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. I was feeling a bit nervous since yesterday. So I was like, I can't do this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, getting some nice revenge to split the prediction for the week.
So, for the most part, you guys were pretty neck and neck until that lovely Moon Pearl in Checkerboard Cave. And then we finally got to see some real divergence there with 2C heading straight up the mountain. While Scarlet, you did... What'd you do? You went to Village... You skipped Meyer's Shed and went to Village of Outcast, I think?
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Okay. Figured.
I got the Moon Pearl, then I was like, oh, I can do everything now.
Yeah.
So I went directly to the Village of Outcast. Then I remembered, oh, I forgot Meyer's Shed and again. So
You just missed out on a couple keys, no biggie.
So I was like, yeah, I will find Lamp or Fire Rod soon, so there's not such a big problem with that. Then the rest was like dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Which made the CD reject, honestly. Sub 140 for 5 keys is actually pretty fast.
Yeah, it's very nice time.
Yeah, you guys are both kind of just knocking out dungeons left and right. It was really hard for us to tell who was like leading. 2C did get earlier Fire Rod, earlier Tempered Sword. Had a bit of a faster Argus fight, stuff like that, little things like that. While you were, clearing up a lot more of the overworld, which 2C did end up going back and getting some of those checks as well later. the really big, like, early, I say early, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe around the hour mark or something, or maybe earlier than that, was when you, because of the way you routed it, you ended up getting your ice rod from Lamola's before heading to Pod Eastern, because you wanted to turn in Green Pendant, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
I thought the green
ended
pendant
up,
was beatable, and then I saw I have like 4 or 3 pod balls, so it would be good to kill Llama first. Then I would just turning the green pendant and it would be really
Mhm.
nice for the routing.
It was kind of stressful because, like, while you were in pod checking the 2 chests that 2C skipped, like Harmless Hellway and Vanilla Big Key, 2C was in Thieves Town about to check the big chest that you skipped, and fortunately, none of it was required, so that didn't end up making a difference.
Yeah,
Which
it was a pretty good seed. You could just deep the dungeons and leave everything behind. That was like, oh, Ice Tea, you can leave behind. You can leave behind Harvest Highway and Big Key of Pod. You can leave
Mhm.
Chief's Big Chest. You could leave basically everything that was a pain to route actually was skippable, so it was pretty nice.
Yeah, all the nice trash checks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think the
Cool.
only regret I have, I guess, in the city is like the fact that I didn't do Lambo. I think after finding the fire road up the mountain, I should have just went straight to desert. I just like completely forgot about that. I
Mhm.
was really greedy. Maybe like I can do it together with Meyer or something like that.
Yeah,
It
that was my
pretty sick, though.
assumption.
Yeah,
But then, we saw you heading up the mountain without the Meyer Big, and we're like, either he knows it's there and is gambling on that not being the GT Big Key, or he's forgot about it completely. And
yeah. The second.
that was unfortunate. Because, like, if you did know about the Meyer Big Key there, or I mean, if you had remembered or something, like, if Ether had ended up being like at the top of GT, that might have been an out for you. If you got your Meyer Big, and then went and somehow beat Lamola's before dipping Meyer and got to go mode that anti-rock. But yeah, with Scarlet having that Meyer Big Key and the Ice Rod heading up to GT, despite being a little bit behind you entering GT, had less items to find. So was very much in her favor at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
it was good.
I did not have a lot of keys overall. It was like kind of weird. I felt like, I was gonna find all 3 TR keys in GT after leaving Swamp because I did the map check, and I think I had 0 TR keys. But then eventually everything was like in Village of Farcast,
Mm-hmm.
even the
Yeah.
big key. So yeah, I don't know. It was definitely kind of weird for sure. Not
Mhm.
super happy about like the late game decisions that I made, like before going GT. Even then, I think it was a little bit better to do Lambo. Just take care of the dungeon before you go up there.
Yeah. But I also understand wanting to, find Ether, and then you can go do Lamola after Meyer or before Meyer, just to group them together, save an extra check. So, but yeah. Well, GG's to both you guys. Thanks for an awesome race. You had fun.
Yeah, it was a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, GG Scarlet.
GG.
Yeah, you did really well. Sub 140. That's crazy.
Going into next week's casual boots, Scarlett, I know you said that you're going to be sitting out this week, and So and Humbug are going to be taking over.
Yeah, exactly. Since like I'm gonna be honest with you, since So know how to hover and have a better execution than me, and Humbug have a really better execution than me, I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to go for a casual boots,
Makes sense. Yeah, smart. 2C, you have who you guys up against next week?
A Noble Foxes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be racing a obscure life form.
Well, that should be a good race.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you both good luck in your future races, either next week or the week after that, and hope you guys both have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for the restream.
All right, Beer. This was a good time.
Yeah, always a good time. It's our
Yeah.
couple times we've come together and always have fun. I tried to be the bot and link all of the Twitch
Good
channels.
job.
The bot's dead, I think, on this channel. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge shout outs to the racers. GG's to both. That was a great race, actually. It's really fun to watch. And yeah, always enjoy calming with you, Willard. And to our tracker, Linkforce.
Yeah, big shout out to Linkforce. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm sure there's some more shenanigans going on around here somewhere, either on SpeedGaming or on the ALTTPR League channel. The schedule's in the link or in the chat. Go ahead and find you some more games to watch, and well, we'll see you in the next one, I reckon. Bye bye.